Oh man, we are nearing the end of the NFL season. Wild card weekend was just insane, and I think the divisional round is probably going to be more of the same. But yeah, welcome back, everybody. My name is Matthew Leininger. This is divisional round picks. Last week I ended up going. I think I ended up going 3-3 because I picked the Rams. I got that one right, barely. I picked the Bears. Should not have gotten that one right. Thanks, Packers. I picked the Jaguars over the Bills. I got that one wrong. I'm not surprised I got that one wrong, though. I picked the Eagles over the 49ers. Not happy about that one. I actually ended up changing the pick to Patriots. So I kind of got that one right, but I said on camera that the Chargers were going to win, so I had to change it. And then I picked the Texans over the Steelers, which, yeah, Steelers, they had them. Steelers, they're going through it right now. Mike Tomlin's gone. And, so that brings my overall record to 184, 94, and 1. Hopefully we can keep it under 100 losses. I think I can because we got 4, 6, 7. We got 7 games left. Obviously, my margin of error is, I'm pretty sure I can do this, but we're just kind of waiting. So here we go for our first game of the week. It's the Denver Broncos at the Buffalo Bills. And I think this is just going to be a phenomenal game. Like, Josh Allen is just so incredibly injured. And hopefully Haley Steinfeld's going to show up to this one. I mean, the Oscars are, well, what was she doing? It doesn't matter, though. But yeah, she was just showing off her little baby bump to everybody because they're pregnant. But yeah, no, just this should be a very interesting game because the Broncos are a very interesting team because the Broncos, we know they have a lot of talent on the team, but they've just been playing very, very sloppy. And it just feels like sloppy is their best football. Their offense is extremely inconsistent, though, but they're good in the fourth quarter, and the defense knows how to come up clutch. The defense hasn't been the greatest over the past couple weeks, though. The Chargers didn't have Justin Herbert in that game, though. And then, of course, they barely squeaked it out against the Chiefs without Patrick Mahomes, and just I don't really know who else was playing, though. But it just feels like the Broncos are just very, very vulnerable going into the playoffs because they are playing so sloppy, and I don't think this is a very good matchup for them. If they had to play the Texans, I think it's just as bad, and I would, but the Texans didn't play. We'll talk more about the Texans later, though. But the Bills, if Josh Allen was fully healthy for this game and he was really in God mode, although he was incredible against the Jaguars, though, I feel like this would just really be just kind of a bit of an easy Bills victory, if you know what I'm saying, though. But as I said, the Broncos are good in the fourth quarter, and they are clutch. And I think that's the thing that could maybe work against the Bills' advantage, though. Now, if you look at the Buffalo Bills, their defense wasn't too bad against the Jacksonville Jaguars, though. It held up against the run fairly well. They were able to get some big stops, though. They did maybe get a little bit of ref help with the Cam Little last-second field goal, but they missed it, so it didn't even matter all that much. They got 2 big interceptions. The defense came up clutch, which is something that usually the Bills' defense does not do well in the postseason. So everything for the Bills is actually in their favor right now. So because of that, I'm actually going to go with the Buffalo Bills to upset the Denver Broncos. Bo Nix, I am so sorry, but I got the Bills. Josh Allen is dangerous when he's on his game, and I think he's going to pull out another victory, though. And my sincerest apologies, though. But either way, I think the Broncos had a very successful season, though. Hopefully their offense is going to want to get better because it was just not very good last year. I mean, throughout this year, though. But I think they can bounce back, and I think they're going to be just fine. We don't know about the Chiefs. We don't know what they're going to be like, but yeah. But Broncos, I think Broncos are going to be fine, but it's definitely going to be a hard way to end the season, though. Then you got the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. Hey, I've seen this one before. We just played recently. Yeah, so the 49ers coming off of a big win against the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, the real tough news for the 49ers, George Kittle tore his Achilles. As a Seahawks fan, I love George Kittle. I'm just so disappointed that he's not going to be, that he's out for the season. I don't even know what his status is going to be like for 2026. But I hope he comes back healthy, though. You don't have to play good against the Seahawks, though, or really anybody else, though. But I wish you the best. Actually, I hope you play good, but then your team ultimately loses, though, because I hate your team, but I like you, George Kittle. So, but yeah, get better. We never want injuries. Injuries are terrible, and Achilles injuries are always tough to to heal from. And the very interesting thing about this one is this is another one that could go either way. Obviously, I want my Seahawks to win, and spoiler, I will end up picking my Seahawks to win because I just don't want to pick against them. But for the Seahawks, though, they just really have everything going against them, though. They have been red hot near the end of the year. They've been winning in all kinds of different ways, though. Our defense has been dominating. Jackson Smith-Njigba has been playing really good, though. Sometimes the run game gets going. Sometimes Sam Darnold comes up clutch, though. And I could just see the Seahawks winning in a multiple variety of ways, though. And we've already played in a lot of big games, like when we played the Rams and the 49ers. So, I actually think Sam Darnold is going to be fine. Could the ghosts come around? Could he have another bad playoff performance like he did against the Rams last year? Yes, 100%. I think that's possible, though. But with this Seahawks defense, Sam Darnold may be put in a situation where he doesn't even have to do all that much because the Seahawks had 180 rushing yards against the 49ers. And we didn't even have Charles Cross, which Charles Cross is most likely going to be playing. I'm pretty sure that he's back. He's had 2 weeks to heal, though, and he's probably our best offensive lineman. So I think a lot of this kind of goes in the Seahawks' favor. Plus, the last time the 49ers were in this scenario, our defense just absolutely crushed them, though. Now, the 49ers have had a little bit more time to prepare, though. I mean, obviously, the Seahawks have had 2 weeks off, though, but I'm sure the 49ers are going to be like, okay, let's make sure that never happens again. And because now that Kittle's out, I think they're definitely going to lean heavily on Christian McCaffrey. And so for the Seahawks, the ultimate goal is going to be shutting down Christian McCaffrey. With that being said, I am going to go with the Seahawks. I don't want to say this is the most obvious win because I want to be very clear. As a Seahawks fan, I don't want to be too cocky about this game. Like, yeah, we're going to crush them. But I just feel like the Seahawks are going to do enough to get the win. Brock Purdy has struggled against our defense in the past. Yes, he hasn't lost a game in Seattle, but this is the playoffs, and I think it's going to be a little bit different. So Seahawks are going to win, and we're going to move on. Could the 49ers win? Yes, I could. I could see it happening, but it's ultimately, I just really don't want them to. So then we got the Houston Texans at the New England Patriots. I think really the only thing to talk about this game is defenses, because I think this game will only feature defenses, though. The Texans' offense was really just not very good against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they're probably going up against an even better Patriots defense. So Patriots defense dominated the Los Angeles Chargers, sacking Justin Herbert 6 times, only holding them to 3 points. But that Texans defense probably is one of the best defenses in the NFL, and I think they are going to make Drake May's life miserable because the Patriots' offensive line isn't very good either, though. Drake May also got sacked 3 times. I'm sorry, he got sacked 5 times. So really, I feel like this is just going to be a very low-scoring, like 6-3 kind of a game. And this game really could go either way. I don't have a lot of confidence in these offenses, though, against these defenses. So I really kind of feel like it's going to come down to what defense is better. And I feel like the overall defense that is better is the Texans. But with that being said, I am going to go with the Patriots. My gut is just saying that they're going to be the one that's going to pull it out, though. And I feel like this is just, as I said, it's probably going to be like a very, very low-scoring game. It might come down to it might come down to maybe a last-second field goal, for instance, or something, though. But, yeah, Texans, you just need to have a better offense because I just don't really have a lot of confidence in you. C.J. Stroud turned the ball over 3 times, and against this Patriots team, you're going to need a little bit more than that, though. But as I said, I think the Patriots are going to have a really hard time against this defense. So I don't think there's a guarantee that the Patriots win. I could say the Texans win. Then you probably got the game of the week. I'm so glad they put this one the Sunday afternoon slot because I was a little worried they were going to put that in the Sunday morning. And I'm like, no one wants to see Texans Patriots in the afternoon. They want to see it in the morning. So then, therefore, if you're going to church, you can pray for the offenses because I feel like they're going to need a lot of prayers. Yeah, so Bears-Rams, they had a very eventful Saturday. The Rams with a last-second victory in against the Panthers, though. Matthew Stafford, for a while, was not looking very good, and yet he was still able to pull it out. And obviously, he came out clutch on the last drive. Their defense did not play their best, though. Bryce Young was able to have himself a game, but hey, Carolina, you have nothing to be ashamed of. You had a great season, though. You've shown a lot of hope and optimism, though. But the Rams, they really are going to have to put on their A game against the Chicago Bears. So the Chicago Bears made a shocking 18-point comeback against the Packers. it was not looking good. That Bears defense was not looking good. Their offense couldn't move the ball down the field. Caleb Williams threw 2 bad interceptions, and I was like, it's over. You blew your opportunities, though. Obviously, they had to settle for a 3rd field goal, and I'm like, that's going to end it, because it just felt like a missed opportunity, because I feel like they had like a punt return. Like, they had good field position, but they could only get a field goal, and it was like, oh, man, you're just blowing every opportunity. But ultimately, in the end, the Bears, they are just an incredibly clutch team. They know how to win close games. They are so good in those scenarios. But Matthew Stafford is also one of the best in those situations too. So this one just feels inevitable that it's going to be this close, down to the wire kind of game. And I think this game could go either way. The weather is probably going to be really cold in Chicago, so the weather does not work in the favor of the Rams. So because I could see the Bears winning, I feel like overall the Rams are the better team. But as I said, even if the Rams shoot up to that big lead, though, the Bears had incredible second half adjustments. Their defense locked in, their offense locked in. They were able to score a lot of points. They were able to have a lot of explosive plays. Caleb Williams obviously having a great first playoff game. And so this one is so incredibly hard to predict. And my gut isn't actually kind of moving in a particular direction. So, which the last time there was a playoff game that was like this, it was Chiefs-Bills in 2021 with a 13-second game. Do I think it's going to be that crazy? I mean, anything is possible with God. No, like literally the Bears have God on their side because Pope Leo is from there. I am actually going to go with the Rams, but I could see the Bears winning. This is going to be a great playoff game. I am super, super excited for it. And that would then set up Rams-Seahawks NFC Championship game, which actually after that, their Thursday night game, it just feels inevitable. And then on the other side, it's Bills-Patriots. So 2 division rivals playing against each other. Obviously, the Bills, last time they played, they made that giant comeback, though. Their first matchup was close. So actually, same with the Seahawks Rams, though. But yeah, that's my prediction for the conference championship games. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Broncos, 49ers, Texans, and Bears. I could see that happening. Just overall, I just want the Rams. Either the Rams or the 49ers to lose. Just one of them. I don't want to have a Rams-49ers championship game again, because then I'm just gonna die inside as a Seahawks fan. Not only because they wouldn't have knocked out my team, but just it's just not gonna feel good, guys. So please Bears, please Seahawks, just please win. Yeah. So you can let me know what you think down below in the comment section. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And Matthew spelled with 2 T's, Matthew, Leininger, Leininger. And we are nearing the end of the season, and this season has just been so crazy that I feel like after the season's over, I'm gonna be kind of sad because it's just been that crazy of a season. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time.